Hi, I'm Cherie from Sydney Stretch Therapy. Today, this is a little follow-along sequence for a Z-sit switch, also called a figure 4, but it's a stretch for around the back side. So if you've got sciatica, if you've got piriformis syndrome, this is a great stretch to begin with. If you're on the floor in this position, let's test first how well your hips are moving. Often people are doing two legs together. It actually gives them a certain amount of information, but this is even more so. Left knee doesn't move. Right knee, see if you can slowly drop the knee towards the floor. Now if you're really tight, the structure around the outside of the hip is not going to let you go any further. So the body is still, and you can feel by isolating the joint how tight you are. If you bring the other leg up and drop the other leg, you can feel all right. You can compare left to right. Is this tighter or looser? When you're doing this little test, it's also useful to know that when you're doing this, if you can relax more, and this is in a tuck position, just allow the knee to slowly go down and it will go a little bit further. The goal is to be able to get your knee all the way down to the floor without the left knee moving. So then when I bring my right knee up and I drop the left knee inside towards my right leg, right knee's not moving, they're pretty close, but my left knee and hip are a little bit tighter. So that's my tight side. So you find out which is your tight side, and this is how we can improve it. So from this position, my hands are behind me, I've got my hips tucked. The goal is to be able to move both knees to the side, and then from this position, you are untucked. This hip will kind of ride up and be not on the floor. So bring your hand into your hip crease and see if you can actually rock that hip back. The goal is to get both cheeks back on the floor. This knee doesn't move either. So sometimes when people rock this back, this knee will move up. So just watch out for that. And then when you switch over to the other side, tuck, hips, go to the other side. Again, how high is this hip and how low is this knee? So when you're actually rocking that hip back, that's the goal. Okay, so let's begin. Let's see what we can do and how much forward bending we can get over our legs. So the width between your feet is the length from your knee to your foot. So take a breath, keep the left knee still. Just see how far you can take your right knee towards your left foot without anything else moving. So I'm going to slowly go back and forth, see if I can warm up that joint a little bit. The more softly I can do this, the better the movement becomes. More synovial lubrication is happening in that joint, and it's becoming smoother and smoother. Switch. Right knee still, left knee, drop it down to your right foot. I feel there's a little bit of stickiness for me, that's okay. Be kind to yourself. Avoid catastrophizing. Okay, that feels pretty good. Let's do it together. I'm going over to the left. Okay, relax your feet in this position. Use your hands to be able to switch to the left. So the left knee is going straight ahead. This is just in a relaxed position, and my right hand goes into the right hip crease. I'm going to gently rock that back. My left hand can stay on the floor. It can stay and block that left knee from rocking up. So I'm just going to gently rock back and forth. All practice is giving you information. The more you practice, the work informs you what you need to do next. Okay, now let's switch to the other side. If you can do this with no hands, good. So you can actually tuck in this position and then shift to the other side. You tend to come forward a little bit, so I'm just going to move myself back on the mat. And then from here, rock that hip back. So into the hip crease, rock that left hip back. If you need to hold on to here, if you need to hold on to here, like this is also possible. Some people need that, that's okay. I'm just going to keep my hand on the floor, rock forward and backward. Now, transition, tuck, untuck, tuck, untuck, tuck, untuck. So I'm just going to adjust myself, just coming back onto the mat. From this position, my thigh, left thigh is parallel to my mat. Take a deep breath, untuck my butt and try to lower myself down onto my front leg. And it's a great stretch for the back of that hip. Feels great. And slowly bring your hands forward. Oh, feels so good. I love it. And notice that I'm actually reaching my arms forward. When I reach my arms forward, it straightens my spine. Often when people are bending forward, they're going to lead with their face and try to get their face towards their knee. Notice how it rounds out my back, but it also tucks under my hips. So it's not exactly what we're after. It's not what we're after. So untuck, tummy down, chest down, face down, reach out. So straightening up the spine. So this is a great stretch for outside of the hip. And slowly walk yourself back up. I'm going to give you another view. Decided this is actually more helpful if I go from this side, that you can see what's happening here is I untuck the butt. So untuck the butt, tummy down, lower ribs down, chest down, and reaching forward. So this is where I'm getting more stretch around this hip, and it happens when you untuck in this position. So untuck, untuck, untuck. Feels fantastic. You can do a contraction, press this knee down into the floor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop, relax, take another deep breath. And as I relax, I untuck, I reach a little bit further forward. This also helps with your pancake. Any forward bending, learning to really untuck in any position. Now, as I come out, I'm going to change the position. So between my two knees, I turn, take a breath, tummy forward, and slowly come forward, 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 reach, 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 and see if I can go in between my knees. Such a good stretch. Untuck the butt again. So this is from the back view. Slowly come back. So I'm going to give you back to the front view. So from here, from that position of being forward over the front knee and then up in between the knees from here. And then when you get more flexible, you try and kiss that knee. We're not going to do that today. I will be very kind to you. So just being able to turn from the hip. From the hip, not from the shoulder. Very easy to do, but that's, you know, might be a sneaky possum, and try and get the stretch by using a cheat. So I'm trying to hinge from the hip. That is key to getting more stretch around the hips in a Z set. So keep lengthening yourself forward, tummy down first. If you want to, put a pillow there. Pillow, cushion, that is also very useful for being able to press onto something, being able to feel the difference of what it does to your body to help it relax. All right, let's switch to the other side. So if you can do it with no hands, great. You lift both knees, tuck, and then untuck. So we go from this side, take a breath, untuck the butt, tummy forward. Notice that I've got a very flat lower back. It's almost extension. So untuck the butt, untuck the butt. That was one of the best tips I ever got from Kit. He actually always just, little reminder, and it's stuck with me ever since in this stretch at the end of range. Re-cue yourself, untuck, untuck, reach forward, reach forward. Best stretch. You can do a little bit of left to right movement. That also gives you a different sense of this stretch. Slowly bring yourself back up. Hands in between here. So we're going to bring our body in between our knees. So just by rolling the hips, tuck, untuck, tuck, untuck. Coming forward, sink, 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 reach. So nice. Notice I'm keeping my face in line so that my neck is not doing a hyperextension, I'm not doing a hyperflexion, just trying to keep everything in a nice straight line. Sink, sink. Great. Okay, and then I come back here, come back to the center. You can do quite a few repetitions, half a dozen if you want to, if you think that's going to be your practice session for your hips. Take your feet apart and let's see how it feels when you actually take your knee down. Does it feel better, worse, or no different? This is information for you to find out. So once I've done that, I can feel it feels great. I can actually move quite easily in that position. So that's the Z-sit switch or the figure 4. Give that a go.